and it's been a great journey. And we're still here, still building. We've got lots of exciting things happening in Ariix. I remember, like, 2 years ago, we were complaining we don't have marketing, we don't have anything sexy, what do we promote? Now we have everything. We don't have any excuses to make things happen. And it's definitely going to be the people in this room who are going to set the stage to build a thriving business here in Ariix. We know the people who come to events, who commit, who are there, are the ones who actually are the movers and shakers. And so we're going to have some fun stuff with you to do tonight, because you're going to learn a lot. It's going to help impact your business. We've got some actions that you're going to be taking. And now, before we begin, we're going to have, first of all, we're going to have John, who's going to be doing training. We're going to have Arlene, and then myself. And then we're going to go and take action on some of the stuff we're going to be talking about tonight. But first, before we begin, we have a special guest with us tonight with Cameron. A lot of people know Cameron. Cameron's been with the company for how many years, Cameron?
That's 3 years now.
3 years. So Cameron has been wearing many hats at Ariix. He's been on customer service, he's been sales development, he's done lots of different things. He's now gearing towards customer service, and we basically invited him to talk to us tonight about what's special inside of Ariix. What's about customer service? How does that organization help us build our business? What are some of the upcoming projects? And you're going to see Ariix culture is to basically create an environment which is more of a partnership environment. We know that the Bill of Rights protect us. We have the Founders Club. We have a special contract with our representative that is unique in the industry. So Ariix is really a partner with us. They like to be transparent in products, in compensation plan, in every aspect, and that also reflects on customer service. So what we're going to learn about tonight is some of these things inside of corporate, what's happening inside. So you're going to learn some of the things that we're not always hearing about. We hear about the products, we hear comp plan, we hear all of these things, but customer service is something we don't hear often. And we thought that would be a great idea for you to learn more. Special training for you tonight. And what's very interesting is that customer service is a department where they deal a lot with problems. It's always calling, oh, I got a problem with my order, got this, got that going on. So one of the things I would suggest is I would love for Ariix, and that's something I'm asking you guys to do, is that I would love for Ariix to know that when Limitless, when our team calls, it's not just complain. All right, yes, you can have a little challenge, a little something, but why don't you pay attention and tell customer service how helpful they have been. Because they always hear all the problems. And so it's good to pay a compliment, because these guys, they work hard. They work hard for us. And every time I hear one pick the phone, what do you hear? A nice voice, someone happy. But they deal all day with all the problems. Can you believe that they still pick the phone and they have that smile? This is quite a unique culture we have at Ariix. They truly are here to help us. And so, of course, this team, to be able to do that in an environment like that and keep on growing and be so friendly and be partnering with us, it needs someone behind all of this that leads this team. And that guy is with us tonight, and that's Cameron. And so I'd like to welcome Cameron and tell us about what's happening inside of Ariix at customer service. So thanks for joining us.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I think I know everybody in here.
I'm Brian.
Brian. Okay, I know all of you. I know all of you. I don't know. Let's see.
Christine, Cameron, Parker.
I'm Cameron. We're blood brothers right now. This is awesome. I know all of you. Okay. We're all. Steve.
Hey.
I think I've seen you before, but
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'm a legend.
He is a legend. So like Stephane said, I've worn a lot of different hats. I've only been at Ariix for 3 years, but I've been in this industry for a long time. Okay, I started off answering Chinese phone calls at USANA Health Sciences. Before that, I was building homes with my brother. Okay, I love to work with my hands. I love to see things from the bottom built all the way up. And that's something that we're doing with customer services. I've been tasked worldwide to build our customer service up into something amazing. Okay, so I was over sales, I was over events and recognition, I was over internal events, I was over customer service. So basically I was failing at everything, just, okay? Jack of all trades, master of none. But now my main focus is on customer service. And that word, I actually don't like that word, customer service. What does customer service mean to you when you hear that word?
You take care of people's challenges and wants and needs, basically. They aren't answers.
Exactly. You take care of people's challenges, wants, and needs. Okay. When I hear customer service, you got to call customer service. I'm like, oh, I don't want to call customer service. No, right? That's especially in the United States and especially in Hong Kong. I just returned from a trip to Hong Kong. That is the mentality. I do not want to have to call customer service. Okay. So we're getting rid of the name customer service. In fact, we've already changed it. It's called partner support. Okay? How many of you have ever sailed, gone sailing on a ship? How many of you are avid sailors? You?
Used to race, yeah.
Okay. So on a ship, there's the mast, right? Do you know at the bottom of the ship what holds the mast up?
Depends how big it is.
Okay. So on most ships, there's a little piece of wood that surrounds the bottom of the mast, and it extends from the one side of the ship all the way to the other side of the ship. And this is called a partner. Okay? Kind of an interesting thing. What's interesting about this is it's such a small piece of wood, it's almost invisible. Nobody can really see what it does, right? It's in the background, yet it provides the support for one of the biggest and most treacherous pieces on a ship with a mast. Okay? That's what we're trying to do here. We are your partners. Okay? We are in the background. And sometimes we get forgotten about, and that's okay. We don't want to be up front. We don't want to be in your face. But we do want you to know that we are here for you all of the time. Okay? As I've been training our partner support representatives, a lot of the things that we've been training them about is you got to have a good attitude, right? You can't tell people no. You can't be grumpy on the phone. I think we do a pretty good job about that. One of the things that we're really trying to implement into our partner support, and it's so hard not to say customer service, it really is. One of the things we're trying to implement is the idea of there's never a no. Okay? You call in and you need something, there's never a no. There may be a, can we try this? You know, some things may not work out exactly the way that we've planned them, right? But we want you to be able to call in, and we're always going to find a solution. I was talking to Stephane, and your answer came in pretty clear of what customer service is. When I think about customer service, it's a transaction. Hi, Arlene. I need you to place this order for me. Arlene says, okay, no problem. We've got that done. Have a fantastic day. That's great customer service, right? We want to go above and beyond. Instead, hey, Arlene, would you mind placing this order for me? And Arlene goes, I would love to place that order for you. You know what I just saw? It looks like you've got 4 more weeks to go gold, and you only have 1 person. Can I extend that out just a little bit for you? Or is there something that I can do to really help you kick into gear to going gold? Okay, that's partner support right there.
Wow.
My success as a customer service, as a partner support representative, is based on your growth, is based on your success. Okay? So I want you to, when Stephane nailed it on the head, when you're calling into us, I want you to take the mentality of I'm not just calling for a transaction. I'm calling to discuss some business with you. I'm calling to discuss ideas. I need some help. Can you help me come up with a solution to this? These 2 lovely people come into my office all the time, and what do? We sit and brainstorm, right? It's not just help me place an order. We sit and brainstorm. We go through solutions. That's one of the first things that we're changing. Okay? We've, over the past 6 months, I've implemented changes to all of our phone systems. You may have noticed we had new messaging on our phone systems, and one reason that I did this is because it's a more robust phone system. But what it also does for us is every single customer service, or excuse me, it's so hard not to say it, right? Every single partner support staff, whether we're in Hong Kong, whether we're in Taiwan, Japan, Korea, we're all on the same system. So what does that do for us? Well, I have a plan, and it's called Follow the Sun. Has anybody ever heard that term? Follow the Sun? Okay. So this is really awesome, and it's going to take a while to set up, but this is my ultimate end goal. It's midnight, and you just realized that you placed an order, and I put it on the wrong spot. I need it changed today. Auto ships are going to go out on Sunday. I need to get it canceled or whatever. Customer service is already, partner support's already closed, right? Well, what Follow the Sun allows us to do with this phone system is eventually we'll have somebody in Hong Kong. We'll have somebody in the United Kingdom. We'll have somebody in Japan who's trained on US, who speaks fluent English, right? So in the event that you call at 2 o'clock in the morning, you call your US English line. Thank you for calling Ariix. This is so-and-so. How can I help you? Right? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It'll eventually get to the point where we never close.
Woo!
Now, that ain't happening tomorrow, I can tell you that. Oh, come on. Right? This is, I've been traveling. In fact, I was out of the country for just over a month, away from the family and doing all that, getting all of these things set up because we truly do care about you. I've come from a long customer service background, and I can tell you there are not a lot of companies that are willing to do this. Okay? There are great companies like Zappos. Have you ever heard of Zappos?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic customer service. Okay? It's customer service. They are willing to go above and beyond to replace your products. Oh, you need that? We're just going to get it shipped out to you for free. Awesome customer service. But they are not a partner. They are not there to help you build your business. And that is what we're going to do. We are going to be here to help you build your businesses. In the case that you get a new team that comes in, okay, guess what we're going to do? Our partner support staff, we're going to have one of them that's going to stay late that night, is going to do a training for you, a compensation plan training. That's what I do, right? I stay there. How many compensation plan trainings have we done? I think I've done a couple for you guys, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. We want to be able to partner with you. So as you call in, please build relationships with these people. Okay, we've got some great staff in there. Now we've got some staff that are new, right? We're bringing on a lot of new people. Okay, what's the difference between a business center and a leg? I can't remember, right? We're always going to have some of those we're working with, but this is an opportunity for you to get to know them and say, hey, you're doing an awesome job. Hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm Arlene. I really want to let you know that I'm here to work with you. I'm so excited we get to be partners. So that's really what we're doing with customer service here. I want to be able to provide you with some tools. I don't know if you've heard of some of the tools that we have and some of the tools that we're coming out with, so I'm going to give you a sneak peek. How many of you have heard of our tool called Insight?
Yeah.
Okay, I built that, what, six months ago? And the Google Analytics, people are using it like crazy. Okay, here's what people aren't doing. You know at the very bottom that says, didn't find what you were looking for?
Don't fill it out.
You're not filling it out, right? We're running out of things that we need to put on there. So please, 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 if you're not finding information on there that you really need to look on there, fill it out. We'll get it in there, okay? Insight has been a phenomenal tool for us in first step of partner support to be able to allow you, because there's some level of business owners that you have to provide a little bit of customer support too, right? Mm-hmm. You've got people that are coming in and going, I just can't remember how to put this Jove on, and you're going, you don't squeeze a whole thing in your hand, right? Just a dab. You send them to a link in Insight. Utilize that tool, and if there are things that aren't in there, then let's get it in there. Okay, this is an embarrassing moment for me right now. How many of you have seen our invoices that we have? How many of you would give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I'm going to give them a thumbs down, okay? Invoicing is very important. Number one, because it provides your customers with the assurance that I didn't get overcharged, I only got charged once. I can have this for tax purposes and things like that. We've seen a flaw in the ability to read our invoices correctly. It's confusing. So what we're doing, and we've also realized that there's a lot of real estate on our invoices. If you see our invoice, it has your name up here, the products that you ordered, and then a bunch of blank space right there. So we've come up with a campaign that we are going to be revamping all of our invoices. Now this is the cool part. There's a paper invoice, which is going to have all of the correct information on there. Aside from that, it's going to have your loyalty coupons on there. Right? It's going to have information on promotions for that day. It'll have information on calls for that day, okay? Based on when your order comes out. Now, there's an email one that comes out, okay? Now this one's going to be interactive, that we're building. Even up to the point of being able to see on a map. We have this, it's called after ship, seeing on a map where your package is at a certain time, okay? Inside of your invoices, and this is a really cool feature that we've been working on. One of the other features that we've been working on, and I got this idea from, I was in London, and I went to a sandwich shop, and it was £5 47 pence was the total for my sandwich. And right below my total it said, did you know in 547 AD, King so-and-so conquered there, right? Really cool information. So they had some funny things on there and some fun promotional information. We're going to be putting promotional information directly for you to click on there and say, hey, you've got 2 loyalty coupons. Or hey, click on this QR code and it's going to take you to and register you for tonight's call. Or hey, it's going to give you a discount on these event tickets. Okay. Now, for leaders, once you hit a certain rank, you're going to be able to customize your own invoices for your entire team. Okay. So you'll be able to record a video and say, I want this on my team's invoices that says, this is Arlene. I just wanted to thank you for ordering. Congratulations.
Cool.
Right? How many of you ever seen the movie Total Recall? It's going to be weird like that. Like, remember? Oh no, which one was it with Tom? Where he's walking in the mall and it registers with his eyes, and he always know they like know Tom Cruise.
I forgot the name of the movie, but
right? But they know. Oh, welcome back. Thank you for shopping. We saw it last time. You bought this. Right? Minority Report. That's what it was. Right?
I didn't see
The point is technology has come a long way, and we're going to be doing some really cool things to help you in your business. Okay. These are things that a lot of companies would say, an invoice is an invoice. It's a piece of paper. We don't really care. Okay? We've gotten feedback that an invoice is not just an invoice. An invoice is a tool for you to be able to market. An invoice is a tool for you to be able to calm people down, to be able to provide reassurance, to be able to upsell. Okay? So, I guess the point of me bringing that up is that we are here as partners. We are here to take even the minute details that you're worried about and fix those things. Okay? So, to that end, we want you to communicate with us as partners. Communicate with me as partners. Everybody has my email. If you don't, it's right here. Cameron.bot@ariix.com. Okay? I want you to communicate with me. I get emails every day of, Stephane sends me an email at least once an hour, right? Cameron, here, let's do this, right? And we'll work with you on things, okay? Again, I want to come back to this partnership right here. Your business is this big, heavy mast. You shouldn't have to be carrying that alone, okay? And you don't have to. We are here to support you. We are here to take that weight off of your shoulders. We're quiet and in the background. The executives, they're loud and obnoxious, and they're awesome like that, right? We love them that way. We want our customer service to be humble and in the background, but have you guys always know we are there to support you and to hold you up. If you have anything that you need, please reach out to us. We're happy to help. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick, by the way, thanks for when you guys ended putting on the callback feature on the phone too.
Yeah, I love it.
That's been great. We're
Yeah,
not
that's
wasting
nice.
time. We can be doing
That's the
something.
best thing.
Can I ask you a question? Voicemails. I love the callback feature. That is one of my favorites. Voicemail feature. That one's been a bit difficult for us. I'm not going to lie to you. Ranking on importance to you. Is voicemail an important function to you?
To build a legal voicemail,
Mm-hmm.
I assume that a big company's not going to listen to it.
So we try to, but what we've noticed is, okay, so imagine this. I get a voicemail that's, and I'm not lying, we get these 27 minutes long. Okay?
Yeah, listen.
So we've got to listen to it all because we want all of the details, right? So that we can call back and do things like that. Well, instead of that, that's just why we like the callback function, because instead of listening to the voicemail, we just go, what can we do for you? Right? We're going to be discussing some different options. We will always have voicemail, but it may just be in a different option. So I'm glad you like the callback function. That's always been a great function for us. One thing that we're going to be doing too is inside of our messaging, we're going to be changing that up on a weekly basis so that you'll have new promotions inside of messaging. So if you do hit the callback function, that's awesome. But if you want to wait, you're going to hear some, oh, hey, there's a promotion, you know, right? So maybe wait sometimes and catch some of those. So.
Cool.
Thank you.
Were you going to talk about the...
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. I love applause, so I'm just going to keep saying that. Tomorrow during registration, I have already printed out all of your name badges. Okay. You do not have to wait in line for registration tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
So we're going to get you all of your booklets, all of your name tags. We're going to be doing all of your ribbons and stuff tonight. I will give these to Arlene and Ennis and then Stephane. So just meet with them. They will have your name badges. You don't need to hold those. You don't need to wait in line. Okay? And then I'll let Arlene go over some of the housekeeping items.
Good catch.
I'm going to go get changed and we're going to go get set up. So.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Cameron. You're welcome. Thanks, sir.
Good job. All right, kiddos. Didn't tell Cameron he could use my whiteboard either. And it's not erased in very well. Hey, babe, can I have a dyke wipe?
A wet one. A wet one.
Yes.
That'll work, actually.
So Stephane's going to be going over kind of online or at the very least long distance recruiting. So mine is what I've been doing in person with people. Thank you, sir. A lot of them, thank you. So I use a whiteboard for this presentation actually in my office at the house. And I have this portable one too, so I'll pull this out. You can pull this out and do it in the living room. If you want to do a home meeting with a group, you can do this one-on-one. I really like one-on-ones with prospects, assuming they've watched something, whether it be a 3X presentation video. This is really not doing well. I don't have to erase a lot. Mine's a one time through, so it should be good. But I don't invite anyone over to my house if they haven't at least overcome simple things like the MLM objection. Does anyone here still use ever brilliant compensation with prospects?
Yes.
Good. So I do all the time too. I don't use it exclusively like I used to. I used to always, every time, use it. And I don't do it as much anymore, especially with 3X, because it's kind of almost bypass that objection sometimes. If someone brings it up even slightly to me, like, is this one of those, if they even say one of those things at all, I'm going to send them that video just to make sure. So I just want to preface going into this, is that this presentation I've closed 6 out of the last 7 people that have seen it. So that's in person. I had good authority with these people. They saw appropriate information first. So don't think this is magical, but it is probably the best thing I've done in person with someone to close them. So 6 out of 7 people have become a rep. I had someone sign up on an ultimate pack for $2,400. A lot of them $500 packs, business packs. So it's worked for large packs, obviously, and a lot of $500 packs. It's also worked with people who were a 3X customer. It's worked with someone who wasn't exposed to anything, who I basically went straight into the business with and said, hey, do you keep your options open when it comes to making additional income if it doesn't interfere with what you're currently doing? So that's a kind of a magical one. Todd Falcone, if you guys follow him, came up with. He will literally call like real estate agents and just cold market people and say, hey, just quick question. He'll introduce himself and kind of go through the whole thing. And I'm not telling you guys to do that. This would be warm market people, obviously. But anyone, hey, just curious, do you keep your options open when it comes to making additional income if it doesn't interfere with what you're currently doing? Anyone who says no to that really already has some kind of preconceived notion of what you're going to say, because no one really, if it doesn't interfere with what you're currently doing, why would you not want to make more money if it doesn't interfere with what you're currently doing? It kind of sets them up to at least say, yeah, it depends what it is normally the biggest objection you'll get is, it depends what it is. Or they'll just say, yes, of course I do. It'd be kind of stupid if I said no. So we can get someone into this conversation first, but this has worked with people who have completed 3X and lost a good amount of weight. And I said, hey, there's a way for you to partner with me on this when I do promotions of this, for you to do it with me. Would you like to look at it? Would you like to just send this off to people and get $50 every time someone buys? I don't go into how the whole system works. I'm going to show you how I do that first. Who's here has been through the Limitless game, all the way through, all 12 levels? If you haven't, do you know what it is? Have you heard of it? Okay, so I really want you to get through that. There's a level in there called the Power Base, which is basically explaining how your warm market works, how to create your warm market, and your warm market's a lot more powerful than just a warm market. That's why we named it Power Base instead. So your power base is the people closest to you that are most likely to be either influenced or just more likely to buy something from you because they know, like, and trust you already. You don't have to create that rapport. So I was glad to see there was already notepads and pens in here. So really do this right now because I want to make this more of like a mastermind thing than just like an event watching thing. So I don't care if you've already done this exercise before. I'm going to try to clean the board off a little more while you guys do this. But I want you to write down Power Base at the top of your paper, and I want you to write 10 new power-based people. I'm not going to tell you to contact them or anything right now. Just the first people that come to your mind, whether someone who would want to buy 3X, possibly, someone who you talk directly to about the business to, and it can be anyone you haven't talked to in the last 6 months. So even if you have talked to them about it in the past, because you're not going to talk to them about it the same way that I'm going to show you tonight, probably, if you like what I've done here. So anyone you haven't talked to in the last 6 months, Mark Yarnell, who I mentioned in the game a couple of times, he's a MLM legend. He says that everyone is a prospect 6 months later. It doesn't matter what they said to you 6 months ago, 6 months later, they are a new prospect. Because things in their life change, they weren't ready last time, and they may just say no again. But he literally says, storm away, 6 months later, you're going to talk to them again. That's pretty aggressive, but I think it's true, because I've talked to people a couple of times before, and then a year later they came back to me and said, hey, are you still doing that business you were talking about? And actually signed up a rep. He'll be here on Saturday that's been in for a couple of years, and I had talked to him the previous year before that, and he got back to me. So people's lives change. They're not always open to what you're about to say. So work on that 10. Let me get this board dried off. And one of the reasons I'm having you do this is because I'm going to teach you basically, this would be more like selling right now. And we can be really good at selling, but if you present to 2 people a year and you close 100%, the law of diminishing returns, you'll never build a business with 2 people a year. You'd have to get 2 previously superstar network marketers a year into your business to make any money doing that. So most people, I would say, don't do enough volume, way more than they're not good at presentation, because videos and things do a lot of that for us. It's the amount of people we put through the funnel that's our biggest issue. So you guys a couple more minutes to get 10. I want full 10 names. You can do more if the names are just flowing. Keep going, but get at least 10. Hey, Stephane, was that question on your laptop back there?
Yep.
So you see we got some bags up here, and we're going to be doing some competition this weekend. Not today, right now. It starts today, but it's going to be for the next couple of days. I think we'll end it, when are we going to end it, Stephane? Saturday night?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a question or a contest. Arlene's going to have one, and Stephane's going to have one. So it's 3 things. So mine is, whether we're going to have you do this 10-person power base, you don't have to contact them, but the person who, and this will be one of the 3 competitions, will get whatever, one of these, maybe 2 of these, I'm not sure. Mine is, whoever gets the most appointments set is going to win that competition. So, take this power base, hopefully, maybe you'll want to expand on it now. You can text, Facebook, email, call, however you want to do it. But starting right now until Saturday night, whoever can show the most appointments set, this could be someone saying, you're going to have to prove it to, I'm going to put Stephane in charge of that. So show it to Stephane Saturday. If you have a text message or a phone call, I have an appointment with John. Look, he said we're going to go to coffee on Tuesday. You don't have to lock it down. You have to lock down like a cell or anything like that. It can be about 3x, it can be about the business, Juve, whatever you want it to be. Make an appointment that you're going to meet with this person, talk. Are we counting like appointments to call, Stephane? They're going to talk on Tuesday night. Is that an appointment or does that have to be a meeting? I want to make sure that we're clear on that.
It's a set appointment.
Okay. So a phone call works because they're not local, they can't meet with them, right? Okay, so yeah, so an appointment set that they're going to look at something. Look at 3X, look at the business, look at Juve, anything, whatever brand you're really focused on building right now. Most appointments set who can prove it. And one thing a mentor taught me a long time ago is don't try because you overestimate your competition. Someone could win that who gets 2 appointments. You probably won't win it with 1 because a few people probably get 1. You might win it with 5, someone might get 11. You may win it with 2 or 3. So don't not try this, because even if you don't win, you got 2 or 3 appointments set up for this week. And sometimes it takes someone, just like I'm doing right now, to get you to send the text, to do the call, some reason to do it today. Because sometimes we just delay, like I don't really feel set up for, I just don't know what video, with that technophobia and lots of things get in the way of why I'm not going to talk to people this week, this month. Sometimes we just got to sit down and say, I'm going to text 10 people right now, or I'm going to Facebook 10 people right now. And I'm talking about lead generation first, a little bit, just a tiny bit. Because we can know this presentation well and this can work well. You might close 6 out of 7 people you show it to, but if you don't have 7 or 8 or 9 people to show it to, you're not going to get any signups anyway. And the 7th person was actually in another company, and they were really happy with that company. So I may have got 7 out of 7. Just saying.
Nice.
All right, so this is actually a mixture of what you've probably seen Stephane do before. I stole his kind of 12-month business building plan and converted it into a prospect presentation. And the reason was because I thought it was a really good, it's a really fair way to present the business because it actually shows the person kind of what's expected of them and what they'll be doing. Because why I asked you a minute ago of whether you guys use brilliant compensation anymore or not, is that the biggest objection nowadays really isn't the network marketing objection. Most people, in the late 90s, you may have heard people that didn't know what network marketing was. And you'll still come across people now that don't know what network marketing is. But people have not only all heard of it, most people have been to a meeting before, and even a lot of people have all been in one or at least know someone who's in one. The good news is I know a lot of people who actually know people who are really successful. There's a lot more high-earning network marketers than there used to be. So a lot of people actually do know someone who makes $10,000 a month or something like that. They just don't think it's for them. So the biggest thing, Stephane and I have talked about this a lot, is that people just don't believe they can do it. They just don't see that your thing's much different than Isogenics or anything else they've already seen or already been to, and they give themselves that excuse that they're not a salesperson or whatever it is, and so they allow themselves to not take action by just admitting the fact that I'm not cut out for that. They may have been on a bad team, they may have had a bad upline, just not had the correct training, but a lot of things can happen. But the biggest thing now is not, it's one of those pyramid things. I still get it, but I get that way less often than someone who just says, I just don't see myself doing it. So when I've showed this presentation, I don't get that nearly as often. 6 out of 7 people bought. So we just started doing this recently out of the house. So we're thinking about turning this into a video kind of webinar presentation, so it could be used with how Stephane's going to show you to recruit, which is going to be on the phone or using online tools. But this is specifically in person right now because I'm drawing it out. Now, there is a benefit to drawing it out, so I would get comfortable if you do want to do this, drawing it out. I've been in the fitness industry for almost 10 years. I've owned my own fitness center for 7 years. And the first business mentor, mastermind guy I ever joined always showed me to draw out people's blueprints. So on a piece of paper, and you could do this on a piece of paper as well. I whiteboard, I like it because it's big, it's right in front of their face. I don't need to sit them right there and I just kind of talk to them and draw it out. But you could do it on a napkin in a restaurant. You could do it, just write smaller, obviously. But my first guy who taught me how to market and sell when I opened my first gym said, I was like, we really do the exact same thing on every person. Like we might say it's, we're custom building their fitness plan for them and where we're going to take them in the next 3, 6, and 12 months. But essentially, besides using their, a different weight and different height, we're doing the same presentation. Why don't we laminate this and make this like a nice flip? And he said, I've done it. There's something magical about writing it out on pen, marker, pencil. The person believes you're drawing out their blueprint for success to them, like you're creating it right then. And even that, not necessarily that they think you've never drawn it out this way to anyone, but to them it's the first time that they've seen it, and there's just something different about it. Also, who's been on like a webinar or a video where the person, you're not seeing the person, you're hearing their voice and it's showing their computer screen, they're going through a webinar and they're doodling on the screen with like a pad. You see like the little blue marker, the red, and they're drawing. They're saying words, and they'll write one of the highlighted points they want you to. They'll be talking about recruiting, and they'll just write recruiting on across the screen, and they'll highlight it, and then they'll erase it, and they kind of doodle. They draw little people, and they're talking about. They're trying to give you visuals. That's been shown. I think it was a 14% better conversion rate on presentations that use doodling versus the exact same presentation that had no doodling. It was just this extra engagement of the eyes to get them to really engage with the presentation even more. So I think that has some correlation with drawing it out to a person. They just really feel interactive with it, and they're watching you as you draw versus when you're drawing a point and they can see it for seconds or minutes after you've said it. It just sets in better. They can follow the conversation better. You realize when you're talking to people, most people don't really absorb every single word you're saying. They're kind of bouncing over you. You're saying that they catch word 3 and 7. That's why I want to be really clear, because the clearest communicator still only gets part of his point across with someone who is ignorantly following the conversation. Meaning, if this is brand new, no one's ever heard of it, you may think you're speaking really simple, but they don't. They're learning it as they're listening to you. Even if they knew it all, they're from another company. A network marketer who follows me on this presentation still misses some of the stuff I'm saying. And they know the industry, they know MLM, they know how it works. But they're learning something new about a different company, and that they're missing stuff. So we want to be clear, and I think drawing it out that's what makes a big difference with it. So, the last thing I do is the whiteboard, so I just want to make sure I covered some of these things. Oh, this is big. So I was talking to a rep the other day, and she said that she had this guy, she had prospected him a little bit, a couple of text messages, and he was really promising, and she was sending him a video, and she just kept telling me, he's like the perfect prospect. And I could tell she was getting really emotionally attached. And then a few days later, I said, "Oh, hey, what happened with so-and-so?" It's like, "Oh, he just bombed. Man, it was such a bummer too, because he was just such a perfect prospect." And I was like, "Why do you think he was a perfect prospect?" There's no such thing. Write this down. There is no such thing as a perfect prospect. A prospect makes you zero money. There's only such thing as good reps. There's no such thing as a good prospect, because a prospect that has $500 in their bank account and buys a $500 pack to join you, or a guy who has $5 million in the bank account and buys a $500 kit from you, you make the exact same amount of money on each one of those reps. If they both go gold, and guy has $5 million and he's a doctor, the other person has $500 and cleans houses, you make the same amount of money off both of them going gold. They're both going to build the team the same way. So we can pre-qualify prospects a little bit and say, this person's been successful. They may, it has some bearing on the outcome, but not really. Because if you remember, for those of you who've gone through the Limitless game, I talked about Mark Darnell's survey, that some of the top income earners in the industry paid the psychologist $30,000 to do a survey to pinpoint the perfect network marketing prospect. So basically, they were going to create this survey with very detailed questions. They were just going to send it out to like the top 100 or top 1,000 MLM earning people from their company or different companies, because they want to see what all the top income earners had in common. So there's got to be some algorithm or some formula for why these people are all successful. Well, if you remember in the game, it was a total bust. It was a total waste of money, because there was absolutely no similarities between the top income earners. They were FBI agents, maids, lawyers, doctors, trainers, stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads. There was nothing that could create any type of avatar type person, because basically what they were doing is they were trying to not waste their time with prospecting. They thought, if we can pinpoint this avatar that, hey, someone who's 32 and a half years old that has previous experience in paralegal, that's the perfect prospect. So we're going to stick to that avatar as best as we can. Well, it didn't work. There was no similarities for them to even create somewhat of an avatar. Men, women, young, old, there was nothing they could even do at all to pinpoint anyone. So they gave up on that, obviously. So there is no perfect prospect, and when we think that there is a perfect prospect, it does something to you too. It puts so much pressure on you to think that the ball's in your court, and you're going to say just one thing off that's going to ruin this perfect prospect. Just think that you are harvesting. You're going out and you're going to find prospects who would be interested whether you give a good presentation or not. Now, you can do a bad presentation for sure, but there's kind of a rule of thumb that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person or the right thing to the wrong person. You can do this really great presentation, but this person isn't interested. It's not going to work. Gary Halbert, who was one of the best copywriters of all time, so when you got like postcards in the mail or you read a sales letter, that basically all stems down. There's a bunch of marketers and people who have written books, but everything kind of stems from Gary Halbert. He was like the man. He's dead now, but he gave a speech one time saying that you could write the most perfect, elegant call to action postcard about a toaster, but if it lands on the lap of a guy on his couch and he's not looking for a toaster, it does absolutely nothing for him. So the audience matters much more than the message. The only reason we try to do our best to be good at selling and good at marketing is that when we see those right people, we make sure we're fishing with the best pull and the best bait we possibly have to make sure we pull them in, and someone else that's also trying to carve out a piece of this network marketing market share with us doesn't get them. So we're not trying to change them into good prospects when they're not, because again, there's no such thing as a good prospect. There's only good reps. If they see it and they want to do it and they see the vision, then they're gonna do it. So what we're doing, what this presentation is for, is the right prospect, why they're going to choose Ariix versus another company. So what is it? Because I have people that come into my gym all the time who are saying, oh, you've got to join, what is it? Javita, coffee thing, Organo Gold, Isogenics, Plexus, It Works wraps, which don't work at all. And which is funny, they come into my gym and I'm like selling exercise and nutrition, and they're like, oh, body wraps. I'm like, well, that did work. Do you think I would sell it? Because that really probably put me out of business if those actually didn't work. They don't work whatsoever. They dehydrate the skin, just in case any of you guys want to know. They make you look good for one night, but they don't. If you understand how body fat gets released from the body, which most of you guys should have since you've gone through 3X, hopefully, you know that those don't work at all. So anyway, there's nothing special about a product in an MLM comp plan anymore. Now, in the 90s, people were exposed to way less things. They either got cold calls from people, like think about what you would have done. I don't remember because I was born in 1988. Some of you guys have been around a little bit longer in here. So, just saying. So now it's like, someone hates Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, and you see it on Facebook like 50,000 times. You see people who are not your friends. You see it in the trending at the search bar at the top, and even someone who doesn't really have not to call anyone a loser in here or anything, but I mean if you're moderately active on Facebook, you got 120 friends, and you see if you have a lower friend count like that, you're probably going to see 80 or 90% of the posts in your friends list. If you've got a higher amount of friends, you don't see as many. But you hear and see a lot more things than you used to. In the 90s, pre-internet days, you saw what your top 5 friends thought about things or said about things, right? So you may have heard of 1 or 2 companies, and a lot of people had never heard of a network marketing company in the 90s. You're 35, 40 years old. Now, anyone has a Facebook account. They've pretty much seen, I see it all the time on my newsfeed. I'm so sick of people filling up my newsfeed with posts about It Works and Plexus and all these things. Most people have heard about it. So what makes, that's what we wanted to get down to with this, because I talked to Stephane a lot about this presentation, was what is different about Ariix? It's multi-brand, that's cool. But an amateur person who's just hearing about network marketing doesn't respond that great to the branding division concept. They just don't, because they don't know that a single product is an issue. So in case I'm talking over anyone's head, Monavie, fastest company to $1 billion, got bought out 2 years ago. It's totally out of business now. One-hit wonder products, where they have their one juice product. I'm not a drawer at all, but that's a bottle of juice. They have the one bottle of juice. The corporate name is Monavie. The bottle of juice is Monavie. And so they're branded, their corporation is their product. That's their one thing. So as soon as the hype wears off, the company crashes, right? So that's what Ariix has tried not to do. That's why we don't have Ariix vitamins and Ariix water bottles and Ariix weight loss. Everything is slenderized, nutrified, and even getting even more in depth into the branding of 3X, which is like even once removed from slenderized. So 3X has like no relation to Ariix whatsoever until they dig deeper into the company. So we're doing that, and that's great. But is that really a huge differential between a lot of the other companies? For a rookie person, which most people, we are going to recruit first-time network marketers or people who haven't been big money makers before, that's not going to work quite as well. So what I'm doing here, what we've done is I'm presenting 3X. This, you may be able to put a spin on this, or it works with Juve or something else, but I'm using 3X. So this person's sitting in my office, and they've watched Brilliant Compensation if they had an objection about MLM. They've watched the customer 3X video. I do not send the 3X business video to a prospect unless they've been in MLM before. So if you guys know the business funnel video that Tim has, that is designed for someone who's been in MLM before. Because the way he starts talking about the funded proposal and things like that, how a supermarket, markets their soda, that just goes way over a regular person's head. Not a regular person, but someone who hasn't been in the industry for a while, okay? So I wouldn't recommend that right now. So it was in the customer funnel, and that was Stephane's idea. He was like, when I said, what are we going to send business people about 3X? He's like, I sent them the customer video. And I said, why? And he's like, because it builds their belief of that video is compelling, and so they can see that their customers who they're going to send this to are going to want to buy this because they watch it and they want to buy it. It's like, okay, that's perfect. So I may send them brilliant compensation, and they've watched the 3X customer video. So we start out like this. And I never can give you like a for sure script, because conversations go differently. This could be your cousin, your best friend, your mom, someone you don't know very well, and so you're going to speak with different assertiveness, right? Tim talks about. So you may use different words than I use, but this is basically how I talk about this. So there is manufacturers, companies that want to sell their stuff, and Tim talks about this a little bit. They want to get stuff sold. And there's affiliates who want to get paid to sell stuff. And this is what we're doing in Ariix. So Amazon, for example, would be an affiliate center. So you send someone a link, they buy a treadmill or they buy a lens for their camera off Amazon, and you get paid. It might be 3%, it might be 50%, depends on the affiliate company, the commission, how they structure it. So you get paid for sending that person in. Now you could compare this to even people who sell cars that work off commission at a dealership. So this is affiliate marketing. On the other side, you have what's known as network marketing, and they've probably watched Brilliant Comp, or I've had the conversation with them to make sure they know what MLM is. And I say that the only difference between network marketing and affiliate marketing is this 50% commission gets paid multiple levels deep. That's why they call it multi-level marketing. With affiliate marketing, you get a bigger chunk up front, but it's not shared with anyone. I say, are you following me? They say, yes. So a lot of people really like this industry, especially people who are good online. They can do online marketing ads and whatnot. They like this because they know how to generate lots of traffic and get lots of eyeballs in front of whatever it is this affiliate product is. They can make a lot of money. But this isn't a long-term residual income business model. That's where MLM comes in. What some people don't like about MLM is it can take a while to start making money with it. And that's because this 50% commission, and this actually ends up working, I don't say this to them, I'm talking to you guys now, this relationship that 3X has a 50% commission structure, and then Ariix also has a 50% commission structure, meaning, I know if you guys aren't familiar with the comp plan, yes, Ariix pays 15% of the lesser leg volume, we have matching check bonus that's 15, 10, 5, 5, 5, but Ariix pays out for every dollar Ariix brings in, they pay out at least 50 cents on the dollar. Not commissionable volume, not all this, don't try to add up all the different ways we get paid. They pay out 50 cents on the dollar. This is the only true way to actually even realize, just a side note for you guys, if anyone tries to get you with, well, our company pays 8 generations deep, Ariix pays only 7, that does not mean they pay more money. The only way you can compare comp plans who actually pays out more money is how much do they pay out on every single dollar, real dollar, not commissionable volume or anything else. $1 the company brings in, how much of it do they pay out? Do they pay out 27 cents, 53 cents, 48 cents? And a lot of companies claim they pay out up to 72% or something like that. And the key word, Fred Cooper talks about this, key word is up to, meaning there is a possibility with all these crazy things that can happen that a rep could get paid out 72%, except the fact that no rep in the history of the company has ever got paid out 72%. So they get you with a lot of these comp plan marketing schemes. So as of right now, as far as we've seen, and they're doing like comp plan wars in the back office with Fred and other executives, that they still haven't found a company that pays out more than Ariix. Even the companies that claim they pay out 50%, Fred will show you how they don't, that they end up paying like 38% or 40%, and it's the way they word things. Anyway, that was a sidebar. Back to what I'm talking about then. So, 50%. How does this 50% commission get paid out? Well, in affiliate marketing, it gets paid all up front to you, which is great, except that doesn't really give you much leverage. So this business model relies solely on you always replenishing new customers. You'll have to get 100 customers a day to make X amount of dollars every single month, and you'll always have to do that yourself. No one's really going to help you doing it. Because if you get an affiliate in on this business, they're going to make 50 bucks and you make 0 off of their efforts, right? So what Tim has done is brilliant. We've created this this communication from 3X to Ariix that sells these supplements that help people get results on our weight loss plan. Now, we have sold this 3X program, and I make sure that they know this is not a supplement or anything. This is a fat loss plan. You maybe have seen ebooks or DVDs, or think of maybe PNEX or something. This is a program that helps people lose weight. This is not a physical product or a supplement that they take. But inside the program, they promote supplements by Ariix that help them get better results on the program. And now we're already conditioning them that they don't have to be product experts, that they're not going to learn this. I've already said multiple times that, hey, 3X, I will say it multiple times at the end, that 3X promotes the supplements for them, because a lot of objections we get nowadays is, I've done one of those things before, but I just couldn't learn all the science stuff about the products, and I don't want to be in a product company. I'd rather be in something easy like coffee or internet service or something like that. We're telling them that we're taking the product management or the product selling out of the equation, because you can't sell Ariix supplements by sending someone a text. You can't send them to Ariix.com and expect them to buy anything. Okay, catalog type websites don't sell consumers because there's not a direct call to action of what they should do when they're on the site. So they jump on, they say Nutrify, Purity. I'm not talking about Ariix's site. This is just reality of any big company's site. They're not going to click around and go, oh, Samoa juice, yeah, we need to get some juice, and click on that juice and buy it. There's not a direct call to action. When they land on 3X, it is a website that tells them, we're going to show you how to lose weight. Here's the people who have lost weight. Buy now at $97. It's called direct response marketing. It tells them what to do. Click the button below now to get this program today. Hey, scroll to the bottom of this page, click the button now. This is designed to get someone to do one thing, purchase a product. Ariix's catalog type website is not designed to do that. So, 50% gets paid out, so you make $50 for selling a $97 program, and you can do that through a text message. Can you send a text message? And they say, yes, yeah, I can send a text message. Do you know anyone's overweight? Because 70% of the United States is overweight. They say, yeah, I know some overweight people that may want this product. And I go a little bit into that this is going to be internet friendly, that they'll be able to do ads at some point with this, and all that jazz. So anyway.
Hey John, let me ask a quick question. So
I want you guys to stop too if you do need anything.
Front end and back end at this point of the thing? Are you talking on the left over there where you talk just the affiliate? That's like the front side of the thing, and
that this is front end and this is back end?
Supplements would be more on the back end.
Are you asking if I say those words, front end versus back end?
Is that the way I should be thinking about what you're talking about?
Definitely. I don't say front end and back end because that's kind of a little bit of a marketer language. I try to keep it a little more simple that, hey, that this is where you're going to make your upfront money. You can make $50 by someone buying. Regardless if they buy supplements or not, you're going to make that $50.
Yeah.
And if this person has been this is a little bit difficult because I'm talking to you about how this person may be an MLM in another company, and they really see this and they're like, wow, this is great, because they've been in companies where they're meeting people at Starbucks and throwing products on the counter and saying, well, this has got ginseng and all this great stuff, and it's really great for you. It's going to make you live longer, and that's hard to do. Most people don't want to do that. So if I'll really hit that home harder with them if that's it. I'm like, hey, instead of you meeting someone at Starbucks, you're just going to send this video, and regardless if they buy any supplements from the MLM company, you're going to make a commission. But when they start going through this, it's very compelling. There's very compelling reasons why they should take our weight loss product or our health supplements or our fish oil, because there's a module inside that program that talks about inflammation and how fish oil and high amounts of omega-3s bring down fish oil. Now, I won't go too much into it because, again, we don't want to get into the scientific, because everything you say in a presentation, someone thinks that they're probably going to have to say or know what they're talking about when they present it. So I try to keep it as simple as possible. So I don't say front end versus back end. I try to keep it like a 12-year-old standing there, and they're going to understand, right?
Well, I guess a better way for me to ask a question is like, okay, you could go that route, like just do the affiliate way, but if I understand it right, the way where the money's at is on the month in, month out, people buying supplements. That's where you're going to build your fortune.
Yeah, so you're jumping ahead of me right now. So the next thing I say is that, hey, you could make, and I'll make it sound like small money, you can make a measly few $1,000s a month promoting this, but the tens of thousands of dollars in residual income is when they purchase this, because they don't reorder this. They buy this one time. They don't need the information again next month, right? So it's a one-time buy. That's why I said there's no leverage in this, because it's dependent on you getting new customers all the time, right? If they like the weight loss drops, again, that's going to run out at some point. But when people take vitamins and fish oil, they're going to need those for the rest of their life every single day. So this is where the long-term residual income comes from, where you get paid every month on that customer for life as long as they purchase products from the company. And that's where I'll just stop right there. So as long as that customer, once they buy this one time, they buy from your link, they are forever linked to you in the network marketing company. So any products they buy, and I may, if the person's following me really well, I may say, you know, Ariix just has some other brands. 3X is a gateway to someone to buy Juvet and Purity water bottles and all these things. They learn about water. Once they lose the weight, they want their skin to look better. So, and they're going to see all that stuff if they're within the company, if they're a customer or a rep.
Cool.
So I say this is like a gateway for them to jump into our other brands as well. So if this customer starts buying products from multiple of our brands, if you're a rep in Ariix and you've only promoted one product ever, you're still a rep for all these other brands, even if you personally never promote them. If they jump over and start buying these other products, you're making commissions on those, and you're going to make them for life. Every single month, as long as they order, you're making the commission. So that's where the long-term residual income comes from. But the reason this is so beneficial is because this just sells itself. You can text it, you can post it on Facebook, you can just get eyeballs in front of this. So your job is now not to be a product marketer. Your job is simple. Get eyeballs in front of this website. And I say website, not video, because they haven't really visualized that yet. So I say, you're going to have your own personalized 3X website, and you're just going to get eyeballs in front of that video. That's all you're going to do to build this business.
Cool.
So we don't want to confuse them yet. So we're not fibbing. Obviously, there is some more things to do, but in reality, if you just got lots of eyeballs in front of this, your business, your Ariix business would build indirectly. We already know that there's about a 15 to 22% upsell on 3X packs. So about every 5 people that buy 3X, one of them is going to buy supplements. And that's with cold traffic. That's with no influence from you. That's just the stats of people buying it. If there's any other influence on top of that, like you say, hey, I did 3X and actually that whole clinical pack, well, now you just shot up the percentage way higher. Because now they personally know someone who did 3X and also got the supplements, and they brought the results that you got, they're going to do what you did, right? So that's just 1 out of 5 is just people who watch the video and watch the upsell video at the, after the $97 sale, they buy it and they see that video. We're getting about 1 out of 5 people to buy. So indirectly, just being an affiliate, you're going to sell supplements, and this is where I get them. I say, you can be an affiliate. Now, if this person's already a customer, this is like a no-brainer, right? Because if they already bought 3X, they can get a free affiliate link. So I'm selling them on something, they just have to go click a button and sign their initials and they get an affiliate link. But I kind of make it sound like I'm going to take their supplement sales from them. And I go, listen, you're going to promote this link. You got a free affiliate link, so you're going to promote this program. You might as well share it, right? Just for the good of mankind. This program rocks, so you should promote it to people. People are going to buy the supplements whether you say anything or not if you put enough people through this. And I'm happy if you do that because I'm going to make those supplement sales when they buy it. They get passed up because you're not a rep in the company. And they go, and they get kind of upset. So then they start paying attention a little bit more to this part of it. So that's fine if you pass them up. It doesn't matter to me. I just want you to get the program out there. But if you want to make long-term residual income, you're already doing the work here. There's not really any extra work to get them to buy the supplements because the program does that for you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do the work and get eyeballs in front of this presentation, you may as well monetize it as best as you possibly can and make those lifelong supplement sales. So this is where we kind of go into what will they be doing. So this is where Stephane brilliantly has his 12-month marketing plan. So I say, and sometimes at this point someone says, well, yeah, and especially me, I get this objection a lot more than most people do. Well, yeah, you can do that. You're a fitness guy. People probably listen to you about supplements and fat loss programs, and that's true. So it actually sometimes is a little bit harder for me than maybe some of you guys to get someone to convert to being a rep, because if they say that you're promoting it and you're not in fitness or you're not a doctor or anything like that, they're like, oh, well, if he can do it, so can I. But people don't typically, if I'm talking about supplements and weight loss, when I'm talking to them and if they know what I do for a living, they don't have that same emotion come out. They're like, oh, yeah, if he can do it, it doesn't really necessarily mean that I can. He's got all these clients and people that are in front of him all the time. But anyway, regardless, that's why, so this part works well. So I say, what's the next 12 months going to look like if you get into this business? So, month 1, there is just you. Switch to the blue one. And I want you guys to draw this out on your paper. I want this is interactive. If you guys don't draw it out, you'll never learn how to do it. And you may find a better, more efficient way than me to do this, to draw it out, but this is how I do it. So I'll write the first 3 or 4 months, I'll say, hey, month 1, let's say you spend like 18 hours on this. You call your friends, everyone, and they're just like, no, dude, I've done that. don't want to do that thing, but man, you just persevere and you get through it, and you get one guy signed up, Bob. Bob's like, yeah, buddy, I'm going to do this with you. So you've made approximately 8 cents an hour with the commission that you made on this one guy signed up with the product volume that he purchased, okay? So maybe he buys 3X, you make $50, but you spent like 18 hours that month getting this one guy in. So anyone in the room who's recruited people, you know this happens. Someone says, man, I talked to like 10 people, I showed 9 hits to the 3X website, no one bought or one person bought. Just, if that's what I have to do to make $50, what's it going to take to make $5,000 or $10,000 a month? And they don't realize that it's not the same thing because they don't understand exponential growth or geometric progression yet. So I say, hang on. Let's just say that it takes you 30 hours to get Bob in your first month. Quitting now would be a big mistake, and I'm going to show you in a minute why. Month 2, you're going to say, listen, Bob, this is what I did the first month. I just want you to do the same thing as me. Well, month 2, with very conservative, now I know this is 100% duplication, which doesn't necessarily happen, obviously, but you just tell Bob to do the same thing that you did. So first month it was your 2 team. If you count yourself, there's 1, you got Bob. Month 2, you got 4 people. Now you probably spent like 23 more hours to do that, so now you're down to 3.5 cents an hour. And no one's impressed with anything that you're doing. And then we get to the magic 90 day, month 3, and you've got 8 people. And this is with everyone getting 1 person in. Okay, this is not like 2 who get 2 or 4 who get 4 because we promote gold in Ariix, right? This is everyone getting 1. This is 1 person duplication. Now this is you getting 1 every month, meaning at the end of the 12 months you would have recruited 12 total people. So month 3 we're at 8, and Fred Cooper says that if you get someone to make a paycheck in their first 90 days, they're twice as likely to stay twice as long in the business. Write that down. Someone who makes a check. It doesn't have to be a check that makes them their investment back. If they spent $2,000 getting in, it doesn't have to be a $2,500 check. If they make a check in the first 90 days, they're twice as likely to stay twice as long. So we're buying ourselves time for them to build. Now here's when everyone quits. If they didn't quit the first week, they quit in the first 90 days. Because even if they did this perfectly and they got 8 people in, they've made, who knows, maybe they're like $5 an hour now because some of the leverage they've had with their other teammates getting people in that didn't take them any time. So now they're making $5 an hour. They're not even making legal minimum wage. And they're like, you're talking about wealth? I've been in this thing for 3 months and I've made $5 an hour. And I would say this would be a big mistake for you to quit now. Now, pausing for a second, the reason this is beneficial, and you'll see when I get to the end, is that you're prepping them to not make any money in the business, but getting them to agree to say yes anyway, because they're going to see what happens at the end. So now, month 4. You guys might have to help me when we get to these bigger numbers with math. We're at 32. I'm just kidding. I can do this. I can do basic addition. 64. Now, this is 6 months in, 64-person team. That's an accomplishment. That's no joke, but you're not making big money with 64 people on your team. You're just not. You may be at a non-blanking business by now. What I mean by non-blanking is you make $300 one week and then you make 0 week 2. You may be actually making money every single week at this point now. We're just being like real conservative. So let's say you're making like $150 a week now. You're still living in extreme poverty. You qualify for every government-assisted program imaginable if this was your only income. So don't quit your job with this. So if they don't see this, they don't realize, okay, 6 months in, we get so that this industry is so about, not that there's anything wrong with Lamborghinis and things, there's some people out here who've got them, and that's great, but it's always about the big money, like the multi-millions of dollars. What if you could do this and make $40,000 a year, and your current job you hate, you want to gouge your eyes out every single morning, and you make $40,000 a year doing that? Why wouldn't this be so much better? So I've actually lost prospects before because I was talking about too big of income. I was talking about, and I didn't think it was that big, I was talking about $8,000, $10,000 a month. And a prospect actually stopped me one time and said, man, if you would have talked about like $2,000 in the very beginning, I'd have been all over this. And I started thinking about it, and I've talked with Stephane a lot about it, and it's the only thing we can think of is that when they hear $2,000 a month, they still picture themselves in their current job and their current lifestyle as far as where they live, the groceries they buy, the car they drive, but they just think of the upgrades. It's like such an immediate gratification. Like if I had $2,000 a month and I was still doing my job now, I would have zero stress. And they start relating it to real life, their real life right now. $1 million, they can't even comprehend themselves. They don't see themselves as that valuable of a person to make that. So you can mess up. So that's why we want to do the inviting formula correctly and really make sure we know what our prospects' needs, wants, and don't wants are. So month 7, what are we at, guys? 128. Be cool, stay in school. So, month 8, we're at 256 now. Here's when we're getting into people that are probably not going to quit. We've probably suckered them into this pyramid scheme for life. 120 people, 256. They're making weekly paychecks. They're making pretty decent part-time income at this. But it's the magic doesn't happen until months 9, 10, and 11. Have you guys ever heard the scenario or the formula of a penny doubled a day? Would you want to take $5 million up front of a penny doubled a day? If you've read the compound effect, okay, you get where this is going. So at month 9, we're at 512. Yes, 512. Then month 10, we're at 1,000. Now we're jumping way up, 1,024. And it's not, or what am I at? Month 11, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Where'd 12 go? Oh, I wrote that one outside the box. Okay, 2,048. Visualize, and then I say the final month, it's not till month 12 that we jump to 4,096, and then right below that I drop down and say, and this, and the reason I make it so dramatic that you're making like 8 cents an hour, $5 an hour, is because right here, I'm talking about 6 months later. I say now you're at 12, this is just a comp plans in general in the industry, you're at 12 to $20,000, and they're thinking a year, and you say per month. And their eyes get real big, they're like, what? I dropped up to 12 to 20,000 a month. Now in a less aggressive comp plan, you're more down in the $10,000, $12,000 a month. In a more aggressive comp plan like Ariix, you're in the higher end of $15,000 or $20,000 a month in a 12-month period, where 6 months ago, you were barely making a consistent weekly paycheck. Now I know this is 100% duplication. That means every single person who got in started getting one, and I'm just telling you guys this, I don't tell them this. And we're not leading them on, because this is real math, this would really happen. And this is with people, they're going to recruit people who put 40 or 60 or 80 or 100 people in too. But we're at $12,000 to $20,000 a month in a 12-month marketing plan. And then when their eyes get big and I say, okay, any other industry, look at what you comparatively have. And I always use firefighting for an example. So you guys don't have to use firefighter. Firefighter may not be as resonate as well with maybe a woman, but I've done this presentation on men and women. It seems to work fine. So this isn't universal. Not all departments pay this well, but in Kern County, where I'm from, pre-2007, it was a really good retirement fund. Basically, you retired at 90% of your pay. So if you're making $100,000 a year as a firefighter and you worked for 30 years, you could retire at $90,000 a year for the rest of your life doing absolutely nothing. And that is why this is a very, very popular career path to choose. Guys will test. They test every 2 years. People will study for the test for 2 years. They'll fail it. They'll study again for 2 more years, take it 4 years later. I've had friends that have personally spent 5 to 10 years trying to become a firefighter. And they might actually get on at some point at 5 or 10 years. But just because you pass the test they have every 2 years doesn't mean you have to test the top 200. That doesn't mean you'll make it through the academy, which is 8 or 12 weeks long. That doesn't mean you'll make it through the oral interviews with the chiefs. They may just not like you, and it's political. Really, doesn't matter how well you did. If they don't like you in that interview, they don't hire you. So now it's 5, 10 years into it, and your dreams are crushed because they don't even hire you. And they do all of that for free. All the studying, all the school. They may go to a junior college, get a firefighter AA degree, get these fire certificates so they seem more qualified to get this job, which is a pretty cool job. They work sometimes 8 to 12 days a month. You can make $60,000 to $150,000 a year, and you can retire with a good paycheck. Now, this retirement is kind of exaggerated now. Post-recession, there's a lot of cutbacks in retirements, and they're actually renegotiating even to this day retirements. But this job is very desirable because it's not a ton of work. It's a dangerous job, but they have a lot of days off, and the retirement's great. So I say, let's compare this to another industry. Imagine if you worked for Apple in the 80s. And they said, hey, this is about $150,000 a year. Work for us for 12 months, or 12 years, sorry. Work for us for 12 years. We're going to pay you $40,000 a year for the 12 years, and we're never going to give you a raise for 12 years. But we promise at year 13, we're going to put you on salary for $150,000 a year, and you can come in whenever you want. If you don't even want to work, that you can just look at it as your pension. By year 13, you're going to do absolutely nothing at $150,000 a year. And you've got to give us 12 solid years of your life at $40,000 a year, and you're going to live in New York City, so you're going to live in complete poverty at $40,000 a year in New York. And we'll pay you $50,000 a year. People would be banging down the door to get that job application. They're 30 years old. They know at 42 years old they're going to be out making $150,000 a year doing nothing for the rest of their life. And that doesn't even exist. That job just doesn't exist. But then I say, let's make this like really pretend. And let's say there was a job, let's say Apple again's hiring, and they say, we're going to do this internship with us, and keywords internship because internships are free. For 12 months, you're going to do an internship. We're going to work you 18 hours a day. You're going to work for absolutely free, and 12 months later, you're going to get your first check, and it's going to be for $12,000, and we're going to pay you $12,000 a month every month for the rest of your life. And that's obviously a complete like fairy tale that doesn't exist because people would literally set up assassinations for the people that were competing against them to get that job. But that's actually what we have here. I just showed you a 12-month plan to make $150,000 a year, and it's open. It actually exists, and you can actually do it. So now pause. I'm talking to you guys now. We just highly conditioned them to not get success the first 3 to 6 months. We just told them, you're going to be working for 3.5 cents an hour. You're not going to make any money. Then I just got them to agree to an internship where they work completely free for all 12 months. Because by months 4, 5, and 6, you're making money. By month 7, 8, 9, you're making good money. And you're making really good money these last few months at this rate of duplication. But I already conditioned them, I already asked them the question. If you did an internship and it was completely free for those 12 months, you just agreed that you would do it. You just agreed that a lot of people would do it. So now I just got them to agree subconsciously that a lot of people they showed this plan to are going to want to do it because they just admitted that a lot of people would be interviewing for that position, that they would be setting up assassination attempts on their colleagues who are interviewing for this job, that in 12 months they can retire at $150,000 a month. And it sounds funny, but we're literally getting them in the perspective that I can get one person in a month. Now again, they're not going to, if they've got more people to get in, we're not nailing their feet to the floor. They're not going to only get one person a month. And they really believe this. They might get 10, 15, 20 people in the first few weeks they're in the business. But we just got them to agree that they're not expecting success the first few months, which is a big problem with why people quit. They expected to make a lot of money the first 90 days or the first 3 or 6 months in the business, which we know doesn't, a lot of times doesn't happen. It can happen, but let's not prepare for it to happen. But they're going to be making money that second half of the year, a decent amount of money. And again, we just got them to agree to an internship where they make 0. They just agreed they would get 0. So how? There's sales books will tell you there's been a lot of studies done, but it seems to be 60 yeses. In an hour presentation, you get someone to nod their head or say yes 60 times throughout the presentation. It's better to get them to say yes to a positive than no to a negative. Meaning, you may say to them like, you don't want that, right? And they go, yeah, no, I don't want that. That's actually not good to get them in a realm of saying no, even if they're saying no to negative things. You want them to say yes to positive things. So we sit there, wouldn't you agree that would be like a fantastic job to get, even if it took you 12 years. But I just showed you a 12-month plan. But let's just say this did take you 12 years. Would this be a waste of time? Because network marketing works off the magic of part-time. You can keep your regular job and do this. So what if you just slowly built this over the next 12 years, and in 12 years you had your current job and a side income, just a small side income of $150,000 a year? That'd be great, wouldn't it? So it doesn't matter if we take it as a 12-month plan or a 12-year plan. It works either way. And normally right now they go, wow, that's great. That sounds amazing. I want to do it. And then we show them the Ultimate Pack, and we only sign them up on Ultimate Packs, and that's it. You can't sign them up with anything lower than Ultimate Pack after showing them that, because why are they going to pay $2,000 to make $150,000 a year for the rest of their life? I'm just kidding. Sign them up on anything. Anything you can get them on. Sign them up. But that's really it. That's the whole thing. I stop them. They normally will have a couple of questions, but not much. And we showed them the difference between Ariix and another MLM plan is that we have this affiliate marketing platform that pays you money up front. So when I show you this 12-month plan, I'm actually being a little exaggeration with that 3.5 cents an hour because you're probably popping out $50 commissions in 3x. So I know that some of you guys maybe prefer Juve or some other brand, so I'm talking specifically about 3x right now, but you're probably popping out $50 commissions a lot in here. Maybe a lot of them, maybe a few of them. So you actually might be making more money in these first few months than I said, but I want to be real conservative to know that, what you're up for when you sign up for this. So we've explained to them in the presentation what it is they'll be doing, which is what the big objection is nowadays, is I don't believe I can do it, because I don't actually really know what's expected of me, because even when they've looked at other companies, they never really knew what was expected of them. Okay? Who in here talks to 30 people a day about Ariix? 20 people a day. 10 people a day. Stephane. And that's why he's chairperson. Mark Yarnell, who I've mentioned before, said that he's never seen anyone in any company, it didn't matter if it was a service-based company, internet, telephone, or a product-based company. He does admit that product-based companies are better and have better profit margins. But he said any company I've seen, legitimate, non-illegal network marketing company in the US or Canada, any main country, that if someone talked to 30 people a day, which he said he can waste time with people and talk to 30 people a day in 2 hours. So 2 hours a day, which is part-time, 30 people a day for 12 months that aren't making $100,000 a month within 12 months. And that sounds crazy, but he was known as being a really legit guy and really knowledgeable about the industry. So $100,000 a month. He said you want to do it in 2 years, talk to 20 people a day. If you want to do it in 3 years, talk to 10 people a day. He said, but you can't talk to less than 10 people a day, or the law of diminishing returns happens, and you never reach $100,000 a month. He didn't say you want to be successful. He said you want to be at $100,000 a month. Most people are fine with $100,000 a year anyway. They get to do what they want, when they want, whenever they want. So I stop there. They say, well, so what does it take to get in? So if they're a 3X customer, they'll typically say, so I got my link, what's it takes to get into the business? And I say, oh, Ariix has, there's multiple packs, depends how serious you are, but they're anywhere from 500 to 3,000. And I go, and I'll just tell you the truth, and I'm completely honest with them. The benefit, can you make just as much money if you buy a $500 pack as a $3,000 pack? Yeah, sure, but I'll tell you the God honest truth is that statistically speaking, you won't ever sign people up on anything bigger than what you signed up on. So if you get in a $1,000 pack, you'll sign people up on $1,000 packs and lower. If you get on a $2,000 pack, you'll sign people on $2,000 packs or lower. You typically won't sell people on a higher pack than you were willing to get into yourself. So I'll be totally honest. I would get the biggest pack you can afford, and that's it. And when I say afford, that doesn't mean the money's just necessarily there waiting for you and has no impact on your life. If that means selling something that's not super important to you, if that means borrowing the money, if that means putting it on a credit card. I had a guy who told me he didn't have the money one time, and then he signed up himself and his fiance, because you can sign up your better half before you're officially married in Ariix, on both elite packs. I just convinced him that his American Express card was sufficient as money to sign people up on himself and everything else. So there's such a thing as good debt, I'll tell them. If you're buying a couch that you don't really need for the house, you probably don't want to go into credit card debt for that. But if you're buying something to leverage, to make additional income, no big business has been built, maybe some, but hardly any business is built without a loan. Not a traditional business, because most traditional businesses cost at least $100,000 to start. So almost everyone has an angel investor, or a bank loan, or a good wealthy friend, or someone that funds that until they start making money. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with going into a little credit card debt or borrowing money from someone. You do not have to have cash in the bank, but I will say get the most expensive pack you can afford, because it will help you in your recruiting. And I don't say anything about the pack besides that. And 2 reps ago, signed up an Ultimate Pack just with that pitch. Nothing with what's in the packs, what the products are, or anything like that. I just said, get with the biggest pack you can afford. It will help you recruit more people. And she said, okay. And I pull out my iPad, and that's when I finally show a professional-looking image for the first time, and I show them the $500 pack. Normally start with the Ultimate Pack and go backwards. Price conditioning, it's always better to go high and then go low, because the $500 pack looks really, really low when everything else has been higher to that point. So I don't normally start low and go high, go backwards. So here's the Ultimate Pack, and the Ultimate Pack, if you guys haven't seen it, the PDF is like really good looking the way it looks, and the other ones just don't look quite as well as that once they've seen that one. So they see the different brands and everything, and that might not make a lot of sense to someone who has only seen 3X. So again, we've got to put in perspective who we're talking to. If someone came in on 3X as a customer and you showed them the Ultimate Pack that has essential oils and water bottles and things in, that may not make a lot of sense. So a lot of times it's good to go with just the 2 clinical packs, which is what 3X Tim really wants to get people in on. They get 2 clinical packs, which gives them 500 points. So they've got their 3X affiliate, and then they've got their 2 clinical packs is the equivalent of getting in on a business pack at 500 points. That gives someone 3 lines, and they're ready to go. So if someone is a 3X customer in front of me, I'll typically talk to them about the $500 to $1,000 packs, the elite packs, because you need the Slenderize elite packs, which are basically just 3X products. Or I'll just say, if you already bought a clinical pack, we'll just buy you a 2nd clinical pack, and you'll be ready to go. And then everybody signs up. And that's the end. Any questions?
I have one.
Go ahead.
So what you just said most recently was that you have to get the Slenderized Elite Pack and a clinical pack. So
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying that if I'm going to show them like the pre-designed packs that Ariix has, and they were a 3X customer, and I've talked to them zero about any of the other brands, I don't necessarily want to show them the other packs that have the other product brands in them, like essential oils and things, because then they go, what is that? And then we take them out of the selling mode. They're about to sign up on a pack, and now we're starting to talk about the other brands that Ariix has. I don't want to go into that conversation. I want to keep them. I'm trying to lead them in the most direct response marketing way I can to just get a pack. We can talk about everything else later. They can educate it on. But if they're in the mode where they're like about to pull out the credit card and join on a pack, I want to keep them in that zone. So I said Slenderize Elite Pack because that's the biggest pack that there is that only has 3X items in it for the most part. So vitamins, Omega Q, it'll have some Rejuvenex. They may ask what that is. If they're on a 3X clinical pack, there's no Rejuvenex. You got 4 boxes of Slenderex and Accelerate. So I'll show them those packs. I won't show them the Ultimate Pack because the Ultimate Pack only has, or it has all the brands in it. Except I don't think it has Juve yet. I think they're maybe redoing that since Juve came out. So anyway, I just don't want to create another conversation. I want to get them off topic whatsoever. If we're in the close conversation, which as soon as you've laid these down, you are now in the close. You don't want to transition out of this until they give you an objection you have to overcome, but you yourself don't want to be responsible for leading them away into something else. Oh, talk to me about my aunt takes essential oils. Are your guys any good? And now you've just totally lost the emotion of them going into the buy, because the buy is an emotional, non-logical. This has been proven over and over again. There is no logic of why someone buys something. They buy off emotion and they justify it with logic and reason after the fact. But they're getting in the zone, they're ready to buy because of emotion, because of what they've hopefully just seen. Someone else said something at the same time.
I had one, the stats that you said are interesting on, like, if you talk to 10 people a day, 20, 30, do those all have to be brand new people, or could it be some follow-up too?
So he said he could talk to, so Mark Yarnell said he could talk to 30 people a day in 2 hours if he's wasting time with them. The particular interview I heard him say that on, he didn't specify. I was assuming it was 30 new.
Yeah.
But if you're talking to 30 people a day, even if some of those are follow-ups, you're going to be doing really good. You're doing better than anyone else because no one does that.
Yeah.
No one does Stephane. He's an animal, and he said he agreed to 10 a day, but not 20. Do you do like 13, Stephane, or is it 10?
Average.
Yeah, 10's good. So it's what's funny is that people will stop and ask sometimes and give like an objection to a number you've just said about, like, well, it takes me this long to do this, and I'll stop them and go, if I have the authority to say this, or if it's not going to come off as I'm being a dick or something, but what are you doing right now that's going to produce that in the next 5 months or the next 5 years? Is your job right now that you have, are they going to retire you with that in 10 years? And again, I would say that if they start to be a little bit snooty with me, I might make him back a little snoot. Arlene's giving me bug face. She doesn't like that because she's super sweet all the time. I'm not always super friendly the whole presentation. If someone's just trying to pick because they want to pick and they don't want to move on, so they're trying to delay, I kind of like to get that over with real quick. But yeah, like this is amazing. So if you only talk to 10 people a day, you'll only be making $100,000 a month in 3 years. What else are you going to do besides go be the founder of Tesla Motors and make $100,000 a month in the next 3 years? Like, you're not going to do anything else that produces that for the barrier of entry of this. My first gym I opened was 1,440 square feet, about the same size as this room, and I ran 31-person boot camps out of it. They were like stepping on each other. The sign, I got the cheapest place in town to do my sign, Thompson Fitness, on the front of my building. Most places quoted me $4,000 to $5,000. I got the cheapest place was $2,400. It faces the other side of the parking lot, and to this day, 7 years later, has got me approximately 0 people in the door. So a $2,400 sign I had to buy just to meet my landlord's specifications of what kind of sign had to be on the front of the building. To incorporate my name from John Thompson to Thompson Health and Fitness LLC, just so if someone sued me, I can bankrupt Thompson Fitness and not be held liable from personally. I did that on LegalZoom, which is like the cheapest way you can possibly start a corporation. That was $750. So just from my corporation setup to the sign, 0 equipment to train people, no lease on the building, no paperwork, no front desk, all these other things I needed. And this is like the leanest brick and mortar type business startup you can do. I was already way over the most expensive way you can possibly get into Ariix. And like Cam was just saying, which I love, customer or partner
Partner support.
Partner support, I like that better. You have realized that you get into, someone signs up for Ariix, the next day or the minute they do this, they have a soon to be a 24-hour customer service line waiting for them. You know who 24-hour customer service was when I started my gym? Me. I got text messages or people would literally text me like at 12:30, at night or in the morning, say, "Oh, I just got double billed," and I would have to go do that. Everyone had my cell phone number because my cell phone number was customer service of Thompson Fitness. So I understand this coming from the business world. What a joke. Like, these are jokes for a business startup. Like, if you've never ran a business before, you may think, asking people for these bigger packs, these elite packs. Guys, elite packs these are all a joke. I know this might be big money to some people, but it's a joke for an unlimited income potential business. The most expensive way you can get started is with $3,000. And typically, if you sell the products that come with that kit, if you just retail them away, you would make most, if not all of this money back because they give you at wholesale and you can sell them at retail. If you get the 5-pack Sundirex kit and you sold those all for $150 as soon as you got the business kit in, you'd make 100% of your business kit back. Which means if you never did anything in the business ever again, you got a free business system by just selling those 5 Sundirex when you first got it. There's no business that has that much leverage. Meaning if the person never did anything again, they would have lost zero money. That doesn't happen anywhere else. So restaurants, let's see, Orange Theory Fitness is a fitness franchise that runs a similar model that my gym runs. Just the licensing fee, no equipment, no building, it's $27,000 you got to pay to Orange Theory Fitness just so you can use their name, Orange Theory Fitness. You get nothing for it. It's just $27,000 right there. So again, if you've ever ran a restaurant or ran anything, you know what a joke that some people's, their front desk costs $4,500. It's got the marble on top, it looks great, it makes everyone comfortable when they walk into the business. $4,500 just for the front desk. So I want you guys to realize what a joke these packs are. And then if Ariix had a $10,000 pack, that would still be a joke. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Any more questions? Again, I really want this to be more like a mastermind than just, I know we're in like stadium seating, but this isn't really like a
I have
fitness
a quick
mastermind.
question. Where do you think we're at and where do you think we're going as far as RX, 3X? I mean, right now, from everything you know, do you think that if we're 8-cylinder car, we're hitting on 2? Or I'm just kind of curious. What's your gut? You love open-ended questions like that, I'm sure.
Yeah. So not as a team, but Ariix as a company with like their growth pattern and yeah. So we're hitting a critical mass right now. So when you hear about companies a lot, typically it's between right when they hit around the $250 million a year mark as a company, which again means nothing to you as an actual business owner because it doesn't mean you're going to take any of that market share just because you get in. If you do nothing, it doesn't do anything. But as far as statistically speaking, companies, you see and hear a lot of them and they start hitting exponential growth at about 2. Can I say what the goal is this year, Stephane, or no?
Yep.
So I believe we broke first year record. We did 36 million year 1. We hit
112 last year.
112 million, and their goal this year is, I want to make sure I have the same one as you. 200? Okay. Deanna had told me privately that it was 240. So whether it's 200 or 240, that means they want to double what they did last year. We've been open for 5 years. So what we've done from 0 to 5 years, they're going to do all of that and double in 1 more year. And that's what happens when you start having that leverage, because now there's so many more reps, there's so many more customers, the company hits critical mass, and geometric progression takes over, exponential growth, and now they shoot from, it's much easier to go from 200 to 400 to 500 million, and that's also the same for you guys as a team. That's why it's easier to do this, to go from here to here, than it is to go from here to here. This is the hardest part, and I go over that in the Limitless game too. That it's like pushing the car up the hill. You get no help. This first couple months is like all on your own efforts. Here, when you have the leverage of a downline, you also hit exponential growth. So it's easier to make $70,000 a month as a network marketer than it is to make $700 a month. It's much easier. Once you get there, it's much easier to maintain. $700 a month can go away in like, an instant, right? That's not a great downline. But when you got a big downline, again, something totally unrelated to MLM, my first fitness mentor told me, he's like, you want to get a little bit of money from a lot of people. That's the key to success. That's why software companies, tech companies, things are big. $1 apps, $5 apps, things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, AOL, $9.95 a month, unlimited
Yeah,
internet
yeah.
service. I was just reading Steve Case's new book, The Third Wave of the Internet. It's really interesting. You guys should read it. Nothing MLM specific, but it's nice to hear from big leaders who saw things coming. Like he had to see what the internet was going to do in the late 80s when people were barely even understanding how personal computers were being used in homes. They had to see ahead. So you can see ahead with Ariix, but Ariix has all of the patterns and the qualities that the 14 companies that have hit $1 billion in the past 120 years has. And Mark Yarnell again said every single company that's hit $1 billion, except for the exception of one, has been something you swallowed, rubbed on your face, or rubbed in your hair. It was not a cell phone company or a service-based company. They were product-based companies, except I think it might have been Excel he was talking about. They hit $1 billion, but they crashed hard afterwards too. Service-based companies, if you guys don't know, if anyone ever seduces you with this, that, hey, you're promoting supplements and things that people kind of have to be convinced to buy, we're promoting something they already buy, which is just their internet or this or that. Well, that's a commodity-based item that has, there's no value. You can't really say much about your product versus someone else's product. So when competition comes in, which is what happened with Excel, the only way the company can drop prices to compete is to pull it from the comp plan.
Yeah.
So they have compensation enhancements that drop you from $30,000 a month to $18,000 a month to $9,000 a month, and then the big leaders leave and they sell it to go retail, or they sell it, they merge it with other company, and the MLM side of it's gone, because MLM companies grow a lot of the times much faster than other avenues of marketing. So they'll use MLM to drive the company up, and then they'll sell it off to an investment firm for $2 billion, and then the owners get rich for the rest of their life with their stock options, and they're done. And you may be making $40,000 a month, and you're making zero in 30 days.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to join a company now that has it in their policies and procedures that they can go retail, and a lot of them have it where they can go retail with a 30-day notice, which is ridiculous. So that means you're literally living month to month. No matter how much money you're making, you're a month-to-month business owner, because at any moment they can sell, and you have no say in the matter of what's going on. So you can say you're an independent business owner, but you're kind of working for them.
Yeah.
For what they say. We started later than we thought we were going to, so I got to get, because Stephane and Arlene both got to talk. I know you guys got great stuff to say. Follow up, Queen. So if you guys have any more questions about this, feel free to talk to me about it later on, or one-on-one or something. But hope you took notes. We can go over this again later on a call. I can post a video in the. I'll play this later. I can post a video in the Limitless group. But yeah.
Awesome.
Moving on.
Thank you.